Create Art Podcast. Project National Poetry Writing Month 2022. Hello, friends. This is Timothy Chemo Bryan, your head instigator for Create Art Podcast, where I use my 20 plus years of experience in the arts and education to help you tame your inner critic and create more than you consume. This month is National Poetry Writing Month, and this is the third year in a row that I am going to be doing NaPoWriMo, as it's known. Now, what's this all about? Well, it's actually something that started up a long time ago, about 2003. And it was done by Maureen Thorson. She's a poet that was living in Washington, D.C., and it was inspired by National Novel Writing Month. And what she did is she posted her poems on her blog, and other people started, writing poems in April and hosting them on their own blog. Now, Maureen linked to them, and after a few years, there's so many people doing NaPoWriMo that Maureen decided to launch an independent website for the project. Now, as far as me, I've started writing poetry back in 1988 when I was exposed to T.S. Eliot in my honors English class in high school. Started reading poetry to the public in 1992 while I was in Abilene, Texas at Espresso Europa coffee shop. I put out my own books of poetry, starting way back in 2007 with Throwing Myself at the Ground and Missing. And then 2008, Postcards from Somebody You Don't Know. And then 2010, Wisdom from the Sack, where I did the National Poetry Writing Month. I did 60 poems in 30 days and put out a book for that. And then the latest one, 2017, Shaving Crop Circles in My Chest Hair. Again, that was a response to doing a Word of the Day challenge. Now, like I said, in 2009, I started participating in it, and I've been a huge proponent for it. This is my third year doing it on the show, so I hope you enjoy. All right, we are in April, on April 26th, and we have 4 more days left in this month. Amazing. So the daily prompt is this. A couple of days ago, played around with hard-boiled similes. Today, the challenge is to write a poem that contains at least one different kind of simile, an epic simile, also known as a Homeric similes. These are basically extended similes that develop over multiple lines. Perhaps unsurprisingly, they have mainly been used in epic poems, and typically as decorative elements that emphasize the dramatic nature of the subject. There is an example from Milton's Paradise Lost that's linked in there. But, you could write a complete poem that is just one lengthy epic simile, relying on the surprising comparison of unlike things to carry the poem across. And if you're feeling especially cheeky, you could even write a poem in which the epic simile spends lines heroically and dramatically describing something that turns out to be quite prosaic. And whatever you decide to compare, the hope is that you have fun extending your simile to epic lengths. And for this one, I don't know if I'm successful in it. I kind of doubt that I am. But I gave it a go anyways. So here goes. Lost Souls. As rabbits dart from here to there, the fox knows their movements. The deer are stunned before they feel the bite of steel, as hunters reload for the kill shot. If the prey could find a way to live in Zootopia, then the predators would be unemployed, powerless, their biggest fear. Even size differences don't equalize the outcomes. This, even the smallest carnivore knows, the numbers game wins. Very few animals hunt their young. Almost none eat their progeny. And those that do, we deem them animalistic. Our sympathies are nowhere to be found. There is no retaliation, no redemption for these beasts. And if we can't consume them, they are laid to waste. Those who try to protect these species are seen as bleeding hearts. They're not taken seriously. We minimize them. And heaven forbid if their prey is tasty or found to help our health. For then we will domesticate and annihilate to the brink of extinction, only to pat ourselves on the back for having saving them from our divine right. Oh, how we are so humane. When dealing with those who act on their animalistic drives, those who let the beast out and dine on their young, they do not deserve the same disdain we reserve for the most barbaric of the animal kingdom. Our religions tell us to forgive 70 times 7, especially when the predator divines the holy to their herds. I want to thank you for tuning into this special episode of Create Art Podcast, National Poetry Writing Month for 2022. I look forward to seeing the comments that you can put on the website and let me know what you think of the poetry. And I want to know if you're writing poetry. Drop me a few lines. Let me take a look at it. I'd be happy to help you self-publish your book or give you advice or good context that I personally have to get your poetry out there. Reach out to me, Timothy at createartpodcast.com, and let me help you tame your inner critic and create more than you consume. Let me know if you'd like to be on the show or talk about any of the topics that we do present for you here. Until next time, go out there and create art for somebody you love, yourself.